and then you can see the concepts that the people have. Now you got to pay attention to the date, right? Now I'll read it. A letter from George Washington to Muhammad ibn Abdullah, Sultan of Morocco, where? City of New York, December the 1st, 1789. Great and magnanimous friend, since the date of the letter which the late Congress by their president, which lets you know he wasn't the first.
Say it again.
Yes. Since the date of the letter which the late Congress by their president addressed to your Imperial Majesty, the United States of America have thought proper to change their government and institute a new one agreeable to the Constitution, of which I have the honor herewith to enclose a copy. The time necessarily employed in the arduous task and the disarrangements occasioned by so great though peaceable a revolution will apologize and account for your Majesty's not having received those regularly advised marks of attention from the United States which the friendship and magnanimity of your conduct toward them afforded reason to expect. The United States having unanimously appointed me to supreme executive authority in this nation, your Majesty's letter of August the 17th, 1788, which by reason, all right, hold on.
Okay, just, there we go, we got
it. All right. Pardon me.
By reason of?
By reason of the dissolution of the late government, which means the government was already here, remain unanswered, has been delivered to me. I have also received the letters which your Imperial Majesty has been so kind as to write in favor of the United States to the Bashars of Tunis and Tripoli, and I present to you the sincere acknowledgement and thanks of the United States for this important mark of your friendship for them.
So I'm going to pause real quick. So the late government, meaning that George Washington and his administration did not start the government.
It's the ninth. He's not. Keep on coming down. Okay. Get over there. Come on down.
Greatly.
We greatly regret the hostile disposition of those regencies toward this nation, who have never injured them, is not to be removed. They couldn't keep up the taxes. On terms of our power to comply with. Within our territories there are no mines, whether of gold or silver, and this young nation, just recovering from the waste and dissolution of a long war, have not as yet had the time to acquire riches by agriculture and commerce. But our soil is bountiful, and our people industrious, and we have reason to flatter ourselves. Turn the page.
Now when you mean young nation,
turn the page.
Who are they?
The nation is a political order, not the land.
Oh.
Number 4.
Number 4.
Turn.
Oh, how do we work? Got it. I'm coming. So the nation is a political order.
Yep.
So the nation. So who?
In other words, we brought the Europeans into government with us. That's what masonry is.
Okay. So what
I
want to touch on, while we get this together, I want to touch on Noble Drew Ali.
Yes.
Who Noble Drew Ali? Who is he?
Noble Drew Ali is not that. This is, believe me, the information is not new. Which, as you know, when you read the case of the Sundry Free Moors, which is 1790, that come before the House of Representatives, which you read off the air. And as you can see, the issue is not new. Yet he was the first to represent the Moorish nation in proper person and make the argument to this government of their obligations to us, which many have buried in their secret societies. He brought it to the front and then brought the knowledge back, the birthright and the title names back to the Moors to make them conscious to stand up and to begin to take our place in the affairs of men. That's the first basis of the unique position that he holds in society. He came with our proper person position that gave us the legal argument that the world couldn't ignore.
So
meaning that showed that the heirs are now conscious, meaning we don't have amnesia.
All right, so he came in 1913.
Came before that, but officially he founded the movement, the activity, the organized body, the political forum for us to operate within 1913.
So, and it is now 2000. 2009.
Yes, going on 2013.
So what happened? Because he came back in 1913. It's 2009, and we're like back in the dark ages.
Betrayal.
And the betrayal. Or who were those who betrayed?
We don't have to tell you that. You can find some of it in the FBI papers.
COINTELPRO.
Do you understand? As well as, now let's look at the United Nations. The nations of the earth came together to deal with these issues. In declarations for the rights of the child, the nations of the earth, including all of the Organization of American States, that means all the political states in the Americas, came on our behalf, and Principle 3 declared everyone, every child shall have a right to a name and nationality from birth, right? And that information was to be presented to all the people through all your institutions, your churches, your civic organizations, all institutions. But did it happen? I don't think so.
Right.
Except with the Moorish movement. Now, international rights, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Article 14, A and B. Everyone has a right to a nationality, and everyone has, they shall not be arbitrarily deprived of the right to change or correct their nationality. It was supposed to be issued through all the organizations. Did it happen? I don't think so. Declaration of the Rights and Human Rights of the Child, Universal Declaration of Human Rights, etc. right here, of indigenous people. Principle 5, everyone has a right to a nationality. Why is that not an issue with our people? It was certainly presented as an argument in law by the nations of the earth, not some organization, the nations of the earth. Why isn't it an issue with us? It's called betrayal. It's also called COINTELPRO.
Okay.
It's also called overseers.
Okay, going back to what we mentioned in the early half.
Now let's finish this George Washington letter.
Okay.
Flatter ourselves that we shall gradually become useful to our friends. Pay attention to this paragraph. The encouragement with your majesty has been pleased generously to give to our commerce with what? With your dominions. Where do you think you're standing? The punctuality with which you have caused the treaty with us to be observed, and the just and generous measures taken in the case of Captain Proctor make a deep impression on the United States and confirm their respect for and attachment to your Imperial Majesty. It gives me great pleasure to have the opportunity of assuring your Majesty that while I remain at the head of this nation, I shall not cease to promote every measure that may conduce to the friendship and harmony which so happily subsists between your empire and them, and shall esteem myself happy in every occasion of convincing your Majesty of the high sense which in common with the whole nation I entertain the magnanimity, wisdom, and benevolence of your Majesty, and may the Almighty bless your Imperial Majesty, our great and magnanimous friend, with his constant guidance and protection, signed George Washington. So where do you think that you're attached to? The Moroccan Empire. Now you understand the great Masonic secret?
So we didn't come here on no slave ship.
Oh, you were already here. You were overthrown.
Some, not everybody.
You were overthrown. You're the sovereign of the land. We are out to lunch. Hold on, let me show you a military document.
Okay.
This is the military document of the King Alfred Plan.
King Alfred, please get into that.
Now, you also know that this has been in the hands of our people. This has the concentration camps, etc., the exotic map, etc. But I want to give you a particular part in here that I want you to pay closer attention to, and notice that some people get this but conveniently skip over this part because it doesn't fit the quote-unquote struggle agenda.
Right.
All right.
Before we get into that, I want to touch on. I was speaking with my cousin Sabir Bey from Georgia.
Yes.
And we were talking about the withdrawal, and he also mentioned like Europeans. When the Europeans came, they didn't cause division. Like we were already divided before they came, and the withdrawal was trying to move us through the hatred among one another.
It's called the ancient hatred.
Okay, can you talk about that, please? I don't want people to think this is some hate. We're against Europeans. We've already been divided before they came also.
It's about love.
Okay.
But it's also about truth.
Okay.
When you go into history, you're going to find that we did some very, very great things. And we did some very, very not great things. Now, truth is what it is, not what you want it to be. And one of the problems that we have, particularly as a people, when we go into history, Asiatic history, and African history, we have a tendency to go into the history and try to take the good that we did and come out with some kind of broad browbeating, proud blackness thing that they call it.